Dear Diary, I'm going to talk about you today. I hope you're excited because I definitely am. I still remember the day that I first journaled quite vividly. I was 11 and a half, and what pushed me towards journaling was a relatively bigger life event. I continued to journal throughout my childhood years until an adult read my diary. I still continued to write about the major events that transpired in my life. So I would always write when something big happened, or on my birthdays, or when there was a lot of thinking that I had to do. But recently I have gotten back into the habit of journaling, and I have been journaling regularly for last month, I think, and I have been seeing some very drastic positive improvements in my life. So I wanted to share those with you, and I regret not journaling throughout all these years because now I have realized that I have missed out on so much. I think the major reason why most people don't journal is because one, they have never been told how important it is, how useful it is, and it is not a respectful thing to do, and sometimes people even make fun of you. I personally was made fun of my diaries a lot, and my diaries were read by all my cousins, and it was apparently a disaster. If you were to say that you gym regularly versus if you were to say you journal regularly, the gymming part is going to get a lot more respect and awes and a lot more what I would call fame, if I'm making any sense. The reason why I'm telling you all of these things is because I want you to realize that the reward of journaling every day, despite anything that you might be feeling regarding the whole journaling part, or people making fun of you, or anything that's stopping you, will far outweigh the benefits of it. So the first thing I want you to do is sanitize your thoughts around writing and journaling, same as what I talked about in reading, and then listen to what I'm about to say with an open mind. You can be your own judge. You don't have to be overly positive or negative. You can stay neutral about it and make your own decision. Okay, first of all, why am I saying that journaling has changed my life? In fact, I would go so far as saying that if I had to choose between reading and journaling to decide what gave me more improvements and benefits in my life, I would say it was journaling rather than reading. Now, why is that? You see, no matter how smart you are and how intellectual and intelligent you are, and you think that you are so close to your thoughts and feelings, which might be true, you might be closer to your thoughts and feelings than most people can be. But there is still some distance, and this distance is because, well, we are all humans, and we don't necessarily would want to know everything about ourselves. I know it sounds very counterintuitive because who else is more interesting to us than ourselves? But trust me, you would have some truth hidden from yourself about you. And that's not even conscious. You do it on a subconscious level because you want to think good about yourself. You want to believe that you are in fact the best person that you could ever be. What is so bad in that if we feel so good about ourselves, you may ask? Well, that is because if you don't know what you're doing wrong, you would never be able to fix it. Another thing is, we all lead busy lives these days, and even if your life is not busy, it's not like you're thinking about everything that you've been doing in your day. Let's say, for example, that you have breakfast on some days and you don't on the other days. So it's not like you're going to document every day what having or not having breakfast made you feel like. This is one of the thousands of things you can think about and document. It might seem like a small thing to you right now, but when you club lots of smaller things together, it can turn into a tornado wave. Another thing is, I believe that you might not know certain things about yourself because you've never been asked those exact questions. You might want to sit with that for a moment. Now, there are thousands of ways to journal, and trust me, if you learn about all of that right now and want to start your journaling in that perfect little way of yours, you will never start because these kind of things overwhelm you. What I would suggest you, however, is that you start today however way we want, and later on make improvements and add or remove features as and when required. And this holds true for most things in life, most habits, activities, projects, whatever you want to call it. The hardest part is going to be, trust me, the starting off part. So here's how I journal. I use both pen and paper and computer, but I'm writing on my computer most of the time. I can write on my phone as well. That's because that's what's accessible to me most of the time. And trust me, no way is better than another one. Yes, pen and paper is dreamy, romantic, cinematic, and everyone loves that, including myself. But I have personally realized that phone works the best for me, then my laptop, and then pen and paper. And there is nothing wrong with that. The goal at the end of the day is to journal. The medium doesn't matter. So here's what I do. I personally use Notion free version. This is not sponsored, by the way, but I would love to get sponsorship from you, Notion, if you're watching this right now. Anyway, so I use the free version template for the journal part. They already have that. So I have created a template in my Notion where I set up the date, a few check boxes containing things that I want to do every day, and every day I would at least mark these tick boxes as check or non-checked. Another thing that I do is I never force myself to write. I try to write at least one sentence, but that's it. That's my goal. I have to write at least one sentence. It can be as simple as, I'm very sleepy today, I'm very tired today, I'm feeling great today, or it's this time at this time. Anything. Now think of it like this. Your diary is your closest friend, non-judgmental friend, and she or he is going to keep your secrets for his or her entire life. So what happens is, I would go to my diary and I would say something like, oh, I feel so tired today. Then I would immediately want to write about what makes me feel that way. So I would go on to a little bit of details about, oh, I was made to work on this task today and I did not like it at all, and that was because of so and so, and things like that. And I often use the method of questioning myself. It is a widely known method of question prompt, but I would not go into the technicalities of it. What I'll tell you is what's intuitive to me. So let's say, for example, that I'm talking about, okay, so my day was not so great, I'm not feeling good. I would immediately ask myself, what makes me feel so bad and what exactly is this feeling? Then I would go on to write about how I am feeling so dissatisfied with this end of the day. I am not feeling fulfilled. Then I would ask myself, why is that? Then I would go ahead and answer, well, it was because I worked all day long and I saw no results of my work. Then I would go ahead and ask, so does that mean what I've been doing all day long was something that I shouldn't have done? Or does it mean that I'm going to see the results in the next couple of days or so? And that again gets me the answer of whether yes or no. That yes, I worked on something that I shouldn't have. Why did that happen? Well, that happened because I missed checking this part in the specification document, and that I ended up spending an entire day on something that was so useless. Or it can be that, no, what I did today was in fact very important and I'm going to see the results tomorrow. And then I get to feel like, okay, so yes, I saw no results, but I'm gonna see them tomorrow, so I need to calm down right now. Or, okay, I have made this mistake that has made me feel this way. In future, I no longer want to repeat the same mistake, so I will always check the specification doc in a better way. You can already see how journaling brings clarity of thoughts in my own head and in my life, because now I have actionable steps to take to improve what was wrong. Another thing that I do is I add checkboxes or remove them as and when required based on things that I want to do regularly in that point of time in my life. Checkboxes are in fact widely known for making you feel like you've made some progress, but again, we will not go into the technicalities. We want to lead this way through pure intuition. So when I mark a couple of checkboxes as checked, I feel a little bit of dopamine, a sense of fulfillment that I've at least done what I was supposed to do on this day. And this, surprisingly, well, not so surprisingly, this keeps you in track for the next day and the next day and the next day. It keeps you motivated, as opposed to if you're doing something every day and you don't have anywhere you can see it. As I mentioned before, there are lots of things you can add to your journal, but my job for today is to get you on board with the idea of journaling and to get you started. So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna put date, you're gonna write one sentence, and you're gonna put a couple of checkboxes. You can even ditch the checkboxes for now. One sentence every day, that's your goal. That's it. It doesn't really matter when you journal. I sometimes write first thing in the morning, then I would add updates during noon or at night. There are really no rules here. You can create your own version of journaling. How about you comment the first ever sentence that you write in your journal? I would really want to know that. Let me share mine, in fact. Okay, so mine is, I feel lucky. Alright, that was all. Thank you so much. Please like this video if you found this useful. That would help me out a lot. I'm going to make one more video about easy advanced thing I use. So if you are interested in that, you might want to stick around. But that will happen once you get started. So I'll wait for you to get on board. Bye bye.